I'm going to do a quick little video here on how to rebuild a chainsaw carburetor. This here is a Zama carb. You can see there. They're not the best carbs. Walbros are much better, but a lot of the guys are running Zamas now because they're cheaper. This one's particularly out of a Poulan Wild thing. Problem was the chainsaw was kind of bogging out and whatnot. Anyways, you want to go ahead and order yourself a rebuild kit like this. And if you have to order the rebuild kit, you want to make sure to look in all the crevices. I don't know if I can show you that, but down in here, down in there, there's actually a number down in, yeah, right there. You need that number for a carb kit. So make sure you find all your numbers. Anyways, it's pretty simple. If you're familiar with any rebuilding, like rebuilding any two-spoke small engines, weed whackers and stuff are pretty much the same. These are just a little bit bigger carbs, but pretty much the exact same thing. Just start with one side or the other. I'm going to start with the fuel pump diaphragm. Now this only has 2 screws which hold it, which I think is kind of inferior considering the case can even take 4 screws. Why they couldn't make a cover that had 4 screws to make a tighter seal, I don't know, but that's trying it for you. They save on screws. Alright, now there's your fuel pump diaphragm. This is your piece that almost always goes on all your 2-strokes and what most people throw them away for. How do you tell it's bad? Easy. Just take it out. You can see this one's not too bad. I've seen them a lot worse, but if you see how it's all dried out, and you know, you can hear it. Which, that's not how it should be. And you can see it's all puckered. And anyways, this is starting to get kind of dried out. They do get worse than this. Anyways, now you can also go ahead, if you feel so inclined, and replace everything in here too. If your rebuild kit comes with all that. Now I'm going to open up my rebuild kit and see what it comes with. But I know it has that because I can see it. So, well, this rebuild kit doesn't have a lot of extras. It's actually specifically designed for just this carburetor, I believe. That's a first in the carburetors I've been rebuilding. But you get, that's your fuel filter, various gaskets. This is your fuel pump diaphragm here, and the gasket it goes with. So that's what we're looking for, just to show you the difference. Looks like a speaker, you know, unless you really overforce it. It's fluid motion, not hard to move in the least, not dried out. But since I'm there, I'm going to pop out my needle valve. It's nice to give you an extra spring, because if you don't hook your thumb right there, it'll be spraying out on you. Like, oh, that kind of just did that. But there, that's my old needle valve out, my old spring, the old rocker. I might as well replace those. I got all brand new parts. You can just see there. See what it looks like in there. Now there's even a replacement thing to go into there. So if you really want to go crazy, you can pop that piece out. I made that mistake once. I don't recommend it. So after this, I got my needle valve in. Oh. If I can get my spring. Alright, so I got that spring in there. Finally. And this is kind of hard to do on camera. This is hard to do anyways. But you want to take your little rocker arm here. You have a hook. Hook your little needle valve there. There's a little notch for it. And then your spring, once you get it in the notch, you just hook it on the spring there. Screw your screw back in. There. Make sure it works. Looks like it should. Yep. Okay, that worked. I got gas all over myself, but I know it works now. So then I want to go ahead, off camera here. I just want to go ahead, stick my gasket on, stick my fuel pump diaphragm on. You want to make sure you get it the right way. Metal side goes in, and the metal wheel goes in, and how does this one go again? Yeah, like this. So we're halfway there already. Most times this is all that you have to do, unless you really have a real gummed up carb. This is all you're really going to need to do. It's usually just even replacing that fuel pump diaphragm is usually all you need to do, but I'm going to go the extra mile. Just for the hell of it, for the video. You never know. Maybe they put together the saw, or the carburetor, or the saw wrong, which is also possible. Now the other side, it's just this one screw in the middle. You want to be careful when you're holding your carb not to rip these sides, these gaskets on the side off, because they do not come with the carb kit. Okay, well, it's not unscrewed all the way. So there you go. Now you can see there's your fuel filter in there. You want to look, make sure it's all good and clean in there. If you want, you can spray some carb cleaner and whatnot through it. Depends if it's dirty or not. But again, here you got more gaskets. And these are just, I think, the reed valves, so to speak. I'm not 100% sure on that, but somebody can quote me if I'm wrong. But yeah, that's how that goes. So you just want to make sure you don't get too much crud on there like I'm doing. Now, to get your fuel filter out, you'll need some kind of a pick So once you find some kind of a pick, just kind of dig on the side of it there, and there you go, out she comes. There's a interesting, it's bubbly from when I blew on it earlier. I'll just clean that out, give it a good inspection down there. Make sure it looks all good, all clean. Once you know that it is, just grab your new fuel filter. It's just kind of like a coffee filter, only it runs the high test coffee. Find something that's relatively the same size and just make sure you get it good and straight. They will have a tendency to want to wander. But there you go, that's pretty straight enough for my chainsaw. But then I just put her back together. Fuel filter's in. It's always good to double check. Make sure you got all your pieces in there in the right order. Line everything up. Make sure you don't strip your bolt, which I almost did. Make sure she's good and tight, because that's all that holds this side, and there you go. Your carb's rebuilt in 10 minutes. And what do you got left over? You got a bunch of little spare parts. Some of these gaskets, I don't know how to tell if these are bad. Feels pretty crinkly though. You can hear it. The other one didn't sound like that. I might be able to save the fuel filter. It looked pretty clean. There you go. There's how you can rebuild your carb in 10 minutes. Your chainsaw carb, and she'll run like new. Simple as that.